welcome back to our first episode of the semester. This is Sports Outlet, and I'm your host, Brandon Magown, and I'm joined here today by Harrison Duhr and Matt Ajaj. Thanks for joining me, guys. Well, with the biggest sporting event of the year happening this past Sunday, we'll be recapping the entire Super Bowl and talk about some of the biggest talking points of the game. So let's get right into it. Which is truer, that the Patriots won the Super Bowl or the Seahawks lost it? Harrison, we'll start with you.
The Seahawks absolutely lost that game, more so than the Patriots won. Both teams played great, but there's two huge things that the Seahawks did that costed them the game. They blew a 24-14 lead with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They easily should be able to take care of that, especially in the Super Bowl. I mean, come on, you can't blow a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. Yeah. That's inexcusable. And then the play everyone's talking about, 2nd and 1, shotgun formation. You have 30 seconds, 1 timeout left, 3 tries to give Marshawn Lynch the ball for 1 yard. Why are you passing that ball? And if you are passing that ball, which I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm trying to understand why they did. They should have been in a regular formation with a play action setup. Easily would have fooled someone because you know what? A defender probably would have thought, wow, they're handing the ball to Marshawn Lynch with 1 yard to go. That's a pretty reasonable thing to think.
When you do the shotgun, you're almost saying we are passing. You don't even have to defend the run.
Yeah, and they like the read option a lot, which works effectively because you have a rushing quarterback and a great rusher in Marshawn Lynch. But they didn't even do that. It was just a straight up shotgun pass, and it just made no sense to me. And because of that, especially the last play, the Seahawks lost that game much more than the Patriots won.
We'll be talking about that play for years to come. But AJ?
I definitely say the Patriots won this game. There's no doubt about it. The offense and defense played well the entire game, and if it wasn't for Chris Matthews, who had his first NFL reception, and this is his first game of his career, basically, he's getting his first NFL reception, 4 catches, 109 yards. You could have seen this come from anywhere. And you got Doug Baldwin getting a pick from the ref. You got Jermaine Kearse making the luckiest catch I've ever seen. Seattle got lucky this game. That's the only way they stayed in the game.
Just like New England. It was a fair game.
They played well, but they stayed lucky. They got lucky the whole game. That's why they stayed into it. It would have been like last year when you're watching the game for the commercials in the second half with the Broncos and the Seahawks. It was ridiculous. And I think if you want to talk about
played well though, even if it's luck, they're still in the game. They were still winning.
If you're saying the Seahawks are losing the game though, you want to talk about a team giving away
one huge turnover.
You want to talk about the team giving away the game. Look at the NFC Championship that got your Seahawks into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's very ironic. I agree.
Where the Packers literally coached themselves into the ground when they outplayed them completely.
That's the most lost game I've ever seen probably in NFL history since I've been watching the NFL.
Yeah, but the Packers outplayed the Seahawks. In this game, you couldn't say that Seattle outplayed the Patriots.
I agree.
Even if any of the Patriots outplayed
didn't outplay the Seahawks,
you can't break it down to
lost it.
You're breaking it down to one decision, though.
I'm breaking it down to 2. They blew a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter.
That's thanks to Brady
play.
making a clutch comeback.
And the defense
did all they could. This is the best defense arguably in our generation. Tom Brady just tore them apart. They didn't choke it away. The Patriots just figured them out.
No, blowing a 10-point lead with 4 minutes left, 10-point lead with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter is blowing a game, especially in the fashion that they did.
You could say they blew it, but at the same time, it's Brady. Brady just does that. It doesn't matter. they're the greatest,
but the
defense,
Seahawks
but
played
he
a good
do that
game.
Against anybody.
I don't care that Chris Matthews is a no-name. He had a good game, so let's honor that and not say he got lucky. So they played well.
Yeah.
The Patriots played well. So in the end, something's got to give. Yeah. The Seahawks.
I'm not saying Matthews maybe got lucky. I'm saying maybe that
Kearse got lucky.
Kearse got lucky at the end.
Yeah.
If they would have won and that play again. Another lucky
After
play.
David Tyree and Mario Manningham play. Yes,
Brady would have just been thinking, what can I do?
How can you look at me and tell me the Seahawks did not lose that game when they were 1 yard away?
Because the Patriots played better than them the entire game. You can't break it down to one decision.
They passed the ball in the shotgun formation 1 yard away.
You say it's a shotgun formation, but you forget that Marshawn Lynch is lined up right next to him. That's how a lot of their run plays are run.
They didn't even do a read option. It was a straight pass. It made no sense.
Clock management could have been better, but Pete Carroll made fantastic play calls.
If anything, in my opinion, if you're even going to pass in that series, which you shouldn't, you do a handoff to Marshawn Lynch. If it's 3rd down, you do a quick pass, maybe play action. If that's incomplete, the clock stops, and then you have one play, 4th and goal. 1 yard to go. What do? You give it to your best player, Marshawn Lynch, and you know he'll probably get you that yard on the last offensive play
I'm not denying that,
of the
but
season.
Pete Carroll made fantastic play calls the entire game. Look, with 6 seconds left from the 11-yard line, he's tossing the ball into the end zone. That's a fantastic play call.
He made a gutsy call there, and then we would have been praising him again if he made
the halftime one. Yeah, that was a great call.
But we would have been praising him again if he would have made the game-winning touchdown. But now he's the GOAT.
I still wouldn't have understood that. If anything, play action. But I'm starting to get repetitive, so I'll stop saying that.
All right, well, let's move on to our second question. I think this one's going to get a little bit more heated.
I'm ready for this one.
Who do we think is the greatest quarterback of all time now that Brady has his 4th Super Bowl win? Matt?
Well, Tom Brady's not the greatest quarterback of all time. He's the greatest player in NFL history. I think you'd be crazy to argue against me otherwise. Look,
You're a Giants fan.
The only player that matches up with Tom Brady with his 4 Super Bowls and 2 MVPs is Joe Montana. Okay, but I'm going to bring Joe Montana down a bit. I'm sorry. Here you go, Joe, though. Joe never had 4,000 passing yards in a single season. Tom Brady's done it 7 times. His career's still going. Tom Brady says he's going to play till he's 50. You know what? I wouldn't doubt it. Also, Joe Montana had Jerry Rice with him in his entire career. You know, the greatest wide receiver in NFL history. For 6 years, had 3 Super Bowls with him. Who Tom Brady have? Oh, I don't know. David Givens. Do you know who David Givens is? I don't know who David Givens
Randy
is.
Moss, Wes
Never won
Welker,
a Super Bowl
Julian
with Randy
Edelman.
Moss. He was also out for a season with Randy Moss. He brought Randy Moss to the Super
He
Bowl in
also
the most
had,
dominant
he also
season in
had
NFL
50
history.
touchdown passes in one season with Randy Moss.
Yeah, it was the
Not
greatest
total,
season in
but-
NFL history. He certainly played his butt off out there.
But he played in a Super Bowl with them, is what I'm saying.
I don't know, but if you look at like Kent State quarterback Julian Edelman, that's who we had this year. That's a former quarterback just running out of the slot for 8
In my opinion, he
catches,
should have been the
106
MVP
yards.
of the game.
That's
get to
another
that
question.
later.
We'll get to that later. But I'd say the QB is the most important, influential, and skill position in all of sports. Would you agree to that sentiment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then I put him over the likes of, say, Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, and Jerry Rice. So I'd say it's between Tom Brady and Joe Montana. And for the stats that I just laid out on you, I'd say Tom Brady takes the cake there. Also, let me just point out, I would like to epitomize Tom Brady as the #1 player in NFL history, just because like NBA has Michael Jordan as the greatest player in NFL
I'd agree
history.
with that.
Yeah, that same
NBA,
image.
yeah.
And what's Michael Jordan's personality trait? Winning. That's his personality trait. He loves to win. Tom Brady's the same exact thing. No one wants to win
If
more
we're
than
talking
Tom
about
Brady.
personality, I'll get into Brady's personality very soon, but that's my last point. I'll let you finish.
Okay, yeah. One more thing. He's the Michael Jordan of his sport. He's done everything that Jordan has. We should epitomize him as the king of the NFL, like we epitomize Jordan as the king of the NBA. He's done everything Jordan has except star in a movie with Looney Tunes. Yeah.
My turn?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's hear
I'm
it,
ready.
Harrison.
I am ready. So I will say this. Overall, Brady probably has much better stats in the regular season. But a big stat you probably overlooked, completion ratings, 63.5 for Brady, 63.2 for Montana. That's neck and neck right there. So that is one of the most important regular season stats in my opinion.
You just gave me the benefit there. He's 0.3% higher.
If
What
you're-
was your point? Was that your stat that you're just going to beat me with?
Well, you said no. I mean, it's very, very close, first of all. You probably thought it was a lot further. All right, no, we'll keep going. If you're going
I
to be
thought
a
you were
wise
going to
guy
say like
about
Joe
it.
Montana has 5%
All
higher
right,
or
I
something
didn't realize
like
I was
that.
dealing with a wise
Thank
guy
you. You
here.
just helped out my argument. Go
Okay,
ahead.
well, Tom Brady's not perfect in Super Bowls. He's 4-2. Joe Montana's 4-0.
So
That's a huge
should we
stat.
knock Tom Brady for not losing in January like Joe Montana did so many times? I think it's a better benefit to get into the Super Bowl and lose in January.
Okay, well, first of all, I think that's the most important game of the year. Would you disagree with me
I
on
would
that?
definitely agree with that
Okay,
sentiment,
so
yes.
yeah, obviously postseason records are important, but would you agree that Super Bowl records should be a separate category from postseason records? I do. 4-0, 1,000 winning percentage. 4-2, 500. One freaking play away from being 500 at 3-3. I'm not even going to go there. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. But 4-2 is not as good as 4-0. It's the most important game. It's the biggest stage.
But that's your thing right there. He has 4, and so does Joe Montana. They both
But
have
he's
4.
lost 2.
Yeah,
He's
but that
lost
just
2.
means he's gotten that. He's good enough to be able to continue to get back
But
there.
he's still lost them.
Yeah, and Montana lost a month earlier. What's your point?
Okay,
Brady got a lot further,
playoff
one more-
records, 16-7, 21-8. Very neck and neck.
Mm-hmm.
Also, freaking Brady, yeah, I'll say this. Brady had maybe the best start to a career a quarterback's ever had. 3 Super Bowls in, his first 5 seasons?
Something like that.
Very, very close to that. Montana, in his entire career, never had a gap longer than 5 years where he didn't win a Super Bowl. Brady had a 10-year gap where he didn't win a Super
I
Bowl.
think that just shows Tom
That's
Brady's
huge.
consistency, though. Has Tom
Well,
Brady
not in
ever
the
missed
Super Bowl.
playoffs? Maybe one time in his
He's
entire
consistent in the
career?
playoffs. Is he consistent in the Super Bowl? No. Is Joe Montana? Yes. That's more important.
Consistent in the Super Bowl. That's real. Tom Brady was consistently got to the Super Bowl more 6 times. Joe Montana didn't consistently get to the Super Bowl.
Well,
He
Joe
got there 4
Montana's
times.
perfect in the Super Bowl. I'd rather be perfect in the Super Bowl than lose 2, personally.
So you wouldn't even want to get to the big game. That's what these players play for, is to get to the big game
Okay,
to
think
win
about
it.
it. If
So
Brady,
you just don't want to get the loss. You don't want to get there.
If Brady lost this past Sunday, he would have been 3-3 compared to 3-0
and then-
when he first came
so
up.
if he was
That's a
3-3
huge
But
difference.
that's it.
Look at Peyton
You're
Manning.
ignoring the factual evidence. Did the Patriots win the game or not?
They did.
They did.
But he's still 4-2.
If Brady had lost the game, then okay, I can see your point that saying he's maybe not as great as Joe Montana. But he won the game. He got
Okay,
it. So
but
now
he still lost 2.
Yeah, but he got. I know we're
All right,
just, we're
we've been
going
on
back
this
in
one.
circles. I know.
Okay, now we'll talk about character. Joe Montana, the biggest controversy he ever had was he got injured, Steve Young replaced him. Like, it happens. It's happened with the 49ers multiple times. We just saw it with Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith. I don't care what you say about Belichick. Belichick obviously is not a good guy. Everyone dislikes him. And obviously Brady is apparently the angel and Belichick's the devil. I've always heard that analogy. But,
Wouldn't argue with that.
okay.
Yeah.
Look, we're agreeing a little bit. But no, I'm not done. I'm not
Well,
done.
we finishing up here.
Brady, whether he denies it or not, was involved in some way because he's the leader of that team. Would you deny that? Leader of the Patriots?
Oh, no question.
Okay.
Kevin Belichick. I'd say you're 50-50.
As a player,
Oh,
he's the
yes,
leader.
okay.
Okay, thank you. So Spygate and the ball deflation really says a lot about his character.
Spygate you can't put on him whatsoever.
Why not? Why not?
Because that's all coaches. That's filming
Why not?
practices.
I feel like
You think
Why
Tom
not?
Brady's going over to the practices, watching over and watching the practices?
Tom Brady's not a dumbass. He knows what's going on.
I feel like we're getting a little off track here to bring the catch in. I think we're just talking about numbers. So I think this is a debate for another day. But I really enjoyed this conversation. I think we should get back to it at another time. But
It's a good one.
But that'll do it for our first segment.
Second time I've argued this today. It's a fun
When
argument.
we get back, we'll get into our rapid fire questions. Stay with us. Welcome back to Sports Outlet. It's now time for our rapid fire segment. I'll ask each analyst 3 questions and they'll have 30 seconds to respond. Matt, we're going to start with you. Did Tom Brady deserve to win another Super Bowl MVP?
Well, I can't give it to Katy Perry, right? Okay, no, okay, I'm
No,
gonna give
left
it to
shark, dude.
Oh, left shark maybe. Right shark had his thing going though. But I only have 30 seconds here. Okay, Tom Brady, 328 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. No one has done that against the Seattle defense all year, and that's arguably the greatest defense of our generation. Made him look like Swiss cheese, cut him up and served him in a deli. Facilitated all the big drives down the stretch. He did everything he could. He bounced back from his 2 interceptions, which they weren't good interceptions. Bounced back right from them, brought his team down the stretch, made all the big drives. It's a quarterback's league. The quarterback came through in the biggest game of the year. You got to give it to him.
Yeah. I agree. All right. Harrison, for your first question, who is really to blame for the Seahawks passing call?
Half Pete Carroll, half Russell Wilson. Here's why. Listen, I gave him this magnitude and importance. Pete Carroll is executing the playbook more arguably so than the offensive coordinator, especially in the final seconds of the fourth quarter. So you know that had to be his choice. So, we talked about in our discussion question, why shotgun? Not a good choice. And half Russell Wilson for forcing a throw on 2nd and 1, not 4th and 1. It was 4th and 1, I get it. It's do or die, but it was 2nd and 1. He had 30 seconds and a timeout. He could have forced that throw out of bounds. Why force it into coverage? It was a great play by Malcolm Butler, but you should not have to be making a throw that risky in that situation.
Do you think he should have called an audible and maybe ran it?
Would have been a good idea, probably.
Really interesting. All right, Matt, for your second question, is Russell Wilson an elite quarterback?
Simple answer is no. Okay, Russell Wilson is an above-average passer and he's a plus athlete, and he has a knack for not turning the ball over. But unlike who I would say are elite quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, he cannot carry the offense.
Wait, you like Brady? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers can carry their offense, carry the team down the stretch. Russell Wilson isn't about that. Marshawn Lynch carries that offense. That defense is the rock of the team. Russell Wilson, bold statement here, he's not even a top 5 player on his own team. I think it's hard to call him an elite quarterback. Russell Wilson's a very good quarterback. Brady and Rodgers are elite. 2 separate categories.
Yeah. Wow, bold statement there.
I agree with that.
Harrison, for your second question, do you agree with Seahawks players openly criticizing the passing play, even though Lynch came out and said he respected the decision?
Not at all. And I don't even know who's really criticizing because all Pete Carroll, Marshawn Lynch, and Russell Wilson have all taken responsibilities in their own separate ways, and I love them all for doing what they're doing. Russell Wilson, this interception won't define my career. Love that quote.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll, minutes after that tragic ending for him, like in the tunnel, he was like, that was my call, my play. I'll take responsibility for that. Don't blame anyone else. It wasn't even an open press conference, literally just in the tunnel or hallway. And then finally, Marshawn Lynch. Maybe he was thinking it because who knows what Marshawn Lynch is really thinking. But he even said, it's a team sport. I'm not surprised. I'm not going to be selfish.
Yeah. It speaks to his character there. It
Exactly.
speaks to the whole team's character.
It was a nice surprise, honestly.
And for your final question, Matt, what's your take on the fight that broke out at the end of the game? Was it Bush League, or do you think it was justified?
Okay, well, keep in mind, this is the Super Bowl, right? Biggest stage in the NFL. It was the most watched television event in history.
Yeah.
History, and we have to see the previous contending Super Bowl champions start a fight with 20 seconds left because the game is over. They were a little upset because things didn't go their way for once. So, let's start a fight on the biggest stage. I bet that turned off so many NFL viewers.
Bush League,
I look at all these people who aren't big NFL fans watching the Super Bowl. They're thinking, these players are kind of like. That is
sore
Bush
losers.
League.
Of
They
course,
are sore
Gronk was
losers.
involved too, around the winning side.
But he didn't instigate it though. He wasn't tossing anything.
No,
He didn't
it's true.
instigate it.
Yeah.
He was just having fun with it.
I was just really
Can't blame
fun.
him.
I was really happy if it was gonna happen. I wasn't saying I was happy it did it. I was just like, all right, Gronk's gonna go crazy right now.
Yeah.
And he threw a few haymakers there.
No,
Yeah, he wanted
And
to.
finally, Harrison, for your last question, who is more likely to make it back to the Super Bowl next year, the Seahawks or the Patriots?
Tough question, but I'm going to give the slight edge to the Seahawks, and here's why. Brady will be 38 next season. Russell Wilson will be entering his age 26/27 season. Vince Wilfork will be entering his 33 and 34 season. He's getting up there. Plus, if we're going to talk about the offseason, Patriots have a lot more key free agents. They have Darrelle Revis, Devin McCourty, Shane Vereen, Stephen Ridley, and even their kicker, Gostowski. I mean, I know it's a kicker, but he's been very good. And then Seattle, their biggest are Jermaine Kearse, Byron Maxwell, and Super Bowl 48 MVP Malcolm Smith. I thought Lynch was a free agent, but he's not a free agent until after the 2015 season, so I really think New England could be a different team next year.
Pretty crazy the Seahawks made it to 3 straight Super Bowls.
They re-sign Revis, so they're right back in there. It's a huge signing. And Russell Wilson's got that big contract incoming, so who knows?
Yeah, but Revis is going to have a lot of attention this offseason, not just from the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, from every team, around the
Bills, a little reunion with Rex Ryan, maybe?
That'd be nice, that'd be fun.
Well, that'll do it for our rapid fire segment. When we come back, we'll wrap things up with our Coming At You segment. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's now time for our final segment, Coming At You. Each analyst will get the chance to ask the other question made up on the spot and have about a minute to respond. Matt, we'll start with you.
Okay, Harrison. Marshawn Lynch set to make $5 million next year, plus $2 million in possible bonuses. Free agent in 2016. A lot of controversy around his contract all year long. He held out before the season even started. What is his future with the Seahawks?
Well, I just said, I think on the show a couple segments ago, I just discovered he's a free agent not this offseason, but the following offseason. So that completely changes my perspective on the whole matter.
Didn't seem like that beforehand.
Yeah, you definitely keep him this season because you've been in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. Why would you trade him? I don't know if they can afford him. He's definitely going to be demanding a lot, and I think it's rightfully so.
And
but
Russell Wilson's big contract
that's
coming
the
up,
thing.
squeeze them both in.
I would keep Russell Wilson over Marshawn Lynch, I think, mainly because, as we said, quarterback's the most important position. Running backs, especially when they get to 30, they're so expendable.
Yeah.
Look at guys like Jamal Lewis and Brandon Jacobs, and then the list goes on and on.
Lynch has had 300 carries 4 years in a row. It's a lot of toil on someone's body,
exactly.
especially for a guy with his play style.
And you can't replacing Russell Wilson will be very, very hard. You know, they got so lucky with him as a third-round pick. So my prediction, 2015, Marshawn Lynch will have a great year, but it will be his last year in Seattle.
Yeah. All right. Your question?
All right. I'm really going to put your loyalty on test here. Because for those who don't know, Matt here is a Giants fan.
Big Giants fan.
Huge Giants fan, but a huge Tom Brady fan. First combination I've ever seen of this nature, so I'm getting used to it.
I have no reason to hate him.
No, I respect that, but it's just different for me because I grew up with so many Giant fans that do hate him. Anyway, getting a little off topic. If Tom Brady was to face Eli Manning in the Super Bowl for a third rematch in a couple years with Odell Beckham ready to roll in his first Super Bowl, Victor Cruz healthy, hopefully the Giants have a running back and an offensive line by then, is the third time going to be a charm, or is Eli going to hit his number one more time?
Well, you look at this. You mentioned Odell Beckham, Eli Manning having Odell Beckham in the Super Bowl third time. That doesn't matter. Eli Manning could have some guy off the streets.
Okay.
You look at who are the heroes of the previous 2 Super Bowls the Giants have? David Tyree, Mario Manningham, or even in the league anymore.
True.
Eli doesn't need that. Eli is just clutch as it is.
I'm sorry,
the Patriots number.
It's just hard to say Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't matter. That's a bold
that was a bit
statement.
extreme. I'm sorry. I love Odell Beckham. He's a big talent.
Statement.
But
especially since he wasn't even 100% this year. Okay.
I know.
Okay, let's see it, Odell.
The guy's a stud, but that's not the point. I really feel like that next year is the Giants' year. They're going to win every 4 years. Patriots are going to take them on again. I think that actually is a Super Bowl next year, and my Giants take it again. Just a little biased there, though. But
No,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
If we see a third rematch, I can't watch the Giants win
Brandon's
one
an
more
Eagle
Super Bowl.
fan,
Yeah.
so he's an ultimate
Eagle
loser.
fan. I just need to see the Eagles win one more Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
more?
One more? Oh, that's
Fine.
cute.
We won an
That's
NFC
cute.
championship. Same thing, just different name. Whatever.
Yeah, what would you go to 5 NFC championships, lose them all? That's cute. You're getting there, Brandon. You're getting there.
Thanks.
maybe
Pulling
next
for you,
year.
buddy.
Yeah.
Maybe next decade.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of Sports Outlet. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, if you're interested in joining LTV, like us on Facebook or email us at ltv@tcnj.edu. For Harrison and Matt, I'm Brandon. Have a good one.